What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Steelers Practice Rewind. Here we are transitioning to Steelers Practice Rewind. It's not training camp anymore. I'm back at the South Side Complex here in Pittsburgh, and we are going to talk about what I learned today from Steelers practice. A few things. First of all, whenever I am doing these videos, we are under regular season rules, which means I can't report everything I see like I did in Steelers training camp rewind. I can only report the stuff I see on the practice field if it's confirmed by coaches, players, etc. And there will be some things that get confirmed through me talking to people. And I talked to a lot of people today. So here's what kind of Nick Farabaugh did today and what I noticed. First of all, talk to Broderick Jones. And I think this is going to be what probably grabs the most headlines from today. People are going to talk about it a lot because he's been the hot topic all week. What's been going on with Broderick Jones? First of all, he brushed aside basically all of the elbow concerns, the brace concerns, and flipping from right to left. He does not think that is the reason why he is struggling. He pointed to a few things. First of all, I'm not totally... I think Broderick was being, he's very accountable. He's a guy that knows how to deal with the media, et cetera, et cetera. So I never expected him to come straight out and say, oh, it was the elbow, it was the brace, it was me flipping sides, et cetera, et cetera. He's not going to do that. But second off, I do think the elbow is an issue because he's not getting movement in the vertical run game and he's not getting any power behind his punch. But I did think there were two things he said that were quite interesting. One, when he brought up the brace, and even though he said it wasn't the brace, he said it was an adjustment. It feels different. He hopes to get it off at some point, but it's something he simply can't control because he's playing through multiple injuries, not just the elbow. Multiple injuries is his wording. So he's not healthy at all right now. He says he's as healthy as he's going to be, but that doesn't mean he's very healthy at all. Second, when we talked about the technical reasoning behind why he was struggling, I thought he actually had some interesting answers. He thinks he's getting to his spots too quick. We know he's very athletic, but he's getting really deep in his drop and opening up the gate inside. His hands, because he's ready to fire at the top of the drop and the pass rusher hasn't even gotten 3 steps up the arc, the pass rusher is able to react and kind of cut back inside. And so what that allows the hand usage for Broderick Jones to do is to get wide, to get high, to get inaccurate. And so he gets high and wide, opens up his chest, and guys go right through him to the inside. We saw that with Greg Rousseau. We saw that as well against the Texans on one of his reps. So that's something to note. So Broderick Jones, we'll kind of see how that ends up developing, but I definitely think something to watch, obviously, with his health. And I also think he was right on a lot of the technical deficiencies with his hands. So there are things to improve upon there for Broderick Jones, even if he's not healthy. Troy Fautanu, on the other hand, did talk today as well. Says he's going to be healthy for week 1. He plans to play. I expect him to be the starting right tackle. I've heard that. That's been reported by Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette as well. And I do expect Troy Fautanu to be the week 1 starter. Seems like he's going to be okay. He said he even played through the entire second quarter with his knee injury going on. Thought, a lot of the struggles against Houston was him just overthinking it. That lines up. It felt like he was too inside on both his sacks instead of just going into his drop and focusing on his man. Was trying to do a little too much. So we'll see. I think he's going to start week 1, though. Other guys to talk. We talked to Arthur Smith today. And a few things that I thought were interesting there, specifically about the quarterback competition. He talked about Zach Frazier and Broderick Jones and the O-line and how that's gelling, but he said he did limit Russell Wilson a little bit. Russ is not 100%. He strongly hinted that he's not 100%, especially when you look at how he called the game for Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are not too dissimilar in the types of quarterbacks and how they play. And more importantly, Justin Fields had read option, rollouts, bootlegs, all of these different things that Russ should probably have in the playbook for him as well. But they didn't have it in the playbook for him. And so that was an issue because it's his calf. That's basically what Arthur Smith said. He couldn't call the same game plan for Russ. They're trying to minimize risk with Russ. So something to watch this week. Maybe they can get a little bit more of that implemented. But Russ needs his mobility to be at his best. So when he, is taking those sacks against the Bills, not a lot of them are his fault, but he really wasn't moving around that much or moving around that great. So something to watch with the calf injury. Zach Frazier is going to be the week 1 starter. He's going to start long term. Obviously, Nate Herbig is out for the year. They placed him on injured reserve with that torn rotator cuff. Pretty big blow to the depth of the offensive line. No matter what you thought, I thought Zach Frazier was trending towards being the starter regardless, but Herbig was really quality depth at guard and center, so we'll see where that comes from. I expect it to come from at least Spencer Anderson and probably Mason McCormick. in different ways. Dylan Cook also had a boot on his left leg today, so he's hurt. So the offensive tackle depth is pretty much hurting pretty badly right now. So we'll see kind of how they get a look at there. I expect, Anderson to play a little bit of tackle if Cook can't go. I expect the guys like Tykeem Doss as well to be focuses there. Talk to Terrell Austin as well. Said the slot corner job is wide open, but was pretty pleased with that Thomas Graham did against the Bills. Beanie Bishop working his way back. Again, I expect Beanie Bishop to play. Told me after the game against the Bills that it was a minor thing and they're just hoping not to turn it into anything major. So I expect him to play as well. But pretty eventful day, honestly, here from the South Side. First day back, and we will be here from now on. Folks, thanks for listening. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell for more.